Hey, welcome to another episode of Raw and Raw. Today I've got our usual, the usual clan of Leanne.
Hello.
Hey, how you going?
Oh, very, very well. I'm kid-free, I'm sick-free, I'm happy.
Excellent. We love happy. Look, 2 weeks kid-free and you are so much more healthy than you were.
Yeah, happy.
We could suggest that there's a correlation there, but we won't today. We've also got Nathan.
Hello, hello.
How you going?
Good. How about yourself, Kevin?
I'm really good, really excited. We've launched the competition for small business owners. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. We've also got Dr. Peter Lilly with us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hello, Peter.
Now, should we call you Doctor or Peter, or what would you like us to call you?
Peter is fine, it's lovely.
I just always prefer to check. So, Peter is got an amazing business that helps people out across such a broad cross-section. We'll talk a little bit more about that in 5 minutes. But first, let's have a quick chat with Nathan and find out what's happening in the news.
Sure. So it's been another heavy week of discussions about borders and tourism and all of that sort of stuff. So it's certainly the hottest topic going around at the moment. We believe that there is going to be a planned announcement on Sunday from the Premier. So that probably maybe sort of indicates that perhaps about the 10th or 12th of July, our interstate borders should be open. Fingers crossed, as long as we all did the right things. So that means that what we need to do for our fast approaching mid-year school holidays is plan a trip inside of Queensland. Go support all of those local tourism and hospitality operators that have done it pretty tough the last few months. So get out there and enjoy Queensland a little bit. What else has there been? There has been, don't forget as well, for all of those businesses out there to review and get across the COVID safe plans for all of your businesses, especially if you're in and around hospitality or tourism or dealing with the public, that sort of stuff. Everyone else should review them anyway, because there's some really good tips and tricks in there to make sure that we're keeping as safe as possible. In 2 other bits of news that are really relevant for all of our business owners and those working within businesses is at the start of this week, the state government announced that there's some 400 online free courses for everyone in and around and connected to business. So covers all sorts of topics. They are completely free. It's not a delayed payment later on. There's no hex debts, nothing like that at all. All of that goes through Go One, which is a very proud Brisbane born and raised startup business, actually. So I happen to know the guys that started it up, and they're really good. So get on there, check it out. I'll throw the link up in the chat as well, so that people can click across and check that out. The other piece of news, and it's a little bit of a rumor, so it's very unsubstantiated at the moment, but there could possibly be another round of small business grants from the state government. Maybe. It's a rumor, as I said. I've not seen or heard official word, but I've heard rumors from a few different sources that it could be happening. So that means be ready if they do come out, because they will probably go even quicker than the first time round. So be ready. But if they don't happen, don't come and fight me about it, because, as I said, it's a rumor. I'm not reporting it as news. That's rumor. So just gossip at the moment. So
look, I still think
the last little bit
accountable for that.
And then the last little bit tomorrow is World Gin Day, which I think is pretty exciting. Good chance for all of us to let our hair down, enjoy a couple of drinks, support some local Australian distilleries as well. I'm sure a few of them are going to be doing a few deals and bargains.
Gin.
Yeah.
I thought you said gym.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry,
gym. Do I look like I get to the gym on World Gym Day? Certainly not.
Dude, what are you doing?
Maybe on World Gym Day, Nathan, just not too many others.
The other one to keep an eye out for is the arts grants. So the Start Arts grants, the $3,000 ones. They've announced that they're going to open on the 15th, close on the 22nd. So make sure you read all the fine print on that one. but they're going to open on the 15th, close on the 22nd. So start looking at the criteria and stuff this weekend if you're an artist who may qualify for that.
And the real headline with those start grants is actually, so those grants are very much directed towards creatives that may have missed out on the job seeker or the job keeper grants. So that they were designed to help sort of fill that gap a little bit as well. So if you're a creative and you missed out on those, definitely check it out because you definitely should qualify for those.
Another really awesome news in small business is Brisbane Small Business. We've announced our competition on really I'm calling it a small business survival competition. The fact that you're still here, you're still fighting away. I want to congratulate everyone. We're going to give one lucky person $250 just to spend however they want. Okay, all you got to do, we'll put a link in the comments here, but it literally is just a grant, just to say, give yourself a break. It's been one of those years that people feeling quite exhausted halfway through the year, and so I am really going to encourage people to be selfish with this. It's one of those times where I think you should be, and spend $250 on something that you either haven't been able to either do or afford because of the current situation, and spoil yourself rotten. Have a spa day, go out for a romantic dinner, go for a night away at a hotel, whatever you want to do that you can under the restrictions that we currently have, go and do that. People keep saying, how are you going to, how's this money going to happen? I said, look, I can deposit it in your bank account. I can stuff it in a yellow envelope and, slide it across the table while we're having a coffee. I don't care. I'll give it to you however you like. So I'll put the details in the link here in just a minute. I would like to introduce Peter and get her to tell us a little bit more about Lily Place and her Hope program, because I think it's really important. One of the great challenges of this year has been the heightened sense of helplessness in some cases, but also just anxiety in general with how is this all going to affect us and everything else. So that's why I thought it was really important to have a chat with Dr. Peter and find out a little bit more about her Hope program. So Peter, over to you. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background so that we can understand a little bit more.
Thank you for that introduction, Kevin. And as I said, I'm delighted to be here. I love being able to spread the word and reach a broader community. So thanks for having me on the show. I'm actually a clinical psychologist by trade, and I'm the very proud CEO and founder of Lily Place. We are a provider of psychology services across the lifespan. And at our clinic, I am very privileged to lead an incredible team of psychologists. And we've always been driven by the mission to help people feel better. And we just feel that now more than ever, that feels even more relevant, and that we're seeking to help people feel better and equip themselves with tools and strategies to cope, remain calm, and to start to move forward. And that really was the inspiration for the Hope Initiative. It's a framework built on psychological strategies that are evidence-based, that can help people right here and now start to manage their anxiety and to support their teams and their businesses to move forward.
Fantastic. Now, you were saying earlier that when we were having a chat, that it really is about helping people. It's fantastic that we are more open to talk about mental illness and challenges today. That obviously men are more shy about coming forward, and they probably even cringe about the word shy, but men are more reticent to come forward in relation to that because they see it as a sign of weakness rather than seeing it as just, hey, they have a challenge and they'd like some help coping. So what are some of the things that we can do that help us understand, hey, I'm not coping so well right now?
Great point. I think that I said to you guys, it's a little bit like when you're flying and you hear the safety announcement that if you're flying with a young child or someone who needs assistance, be sure to fit your own oxygen mask first. And I think for men, they're often in positions where they're trying to support lots of people, whether it's families or businesses or partners or the community, and they often actually just don't put their own oxygen mask on first, and that perhaps looking after themselves is seen as them being selfish. And I would challenge that to perhaps have a look at it from a different angle, reframe it, and have a look at it as being self-responsible so that they can help others out. And I think that because of that, men aren't as connected with those early warning signs that perhaps they're starting to struggle or experience difficulties. So our phone, for example, lets us know how the battery's running and if we need to plug it in so that it doesn't go flat. But as human beings, we don't actually have an inbuilt system to monitor how our battery is and whether we need to recharge. And I think men, even more so than women, struggle to actually identify and understand what signs their body is giving them that they're starting to run flat or that they might need to recharge. So I think one of the first things that's really important is actually having conversations like this so that men can start to actually have a bit of permission and open conversation about how they're going and what they might do to start to recharge before they completely reach that burnout point, which is where we want to prevent getting to. I often liken us to being like the fencing contractor at the top of the cliff. We don't want to be the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff because that's reactive. So I'd encourage not just men, I'd encourage women, business owners in particular, who are trying to keep things going to get help sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and it's one of the challenges is that when people are under stress, we're less emotionally intelligent. We're less aware of our own emotions and how they're affecting both us and the people around them. People around us. And so from that perspective, with men being at a disadvantage because we really don't talk about emotions, so we have a very limited vocabulary about that. So with that sometimes makes it harder, particularly at those early stages, to even notice that, you know, we're getting grumpy or we're getting short or we're constantly tired and all those sort of different things. How can we snap out of that?
Snap out of it. Again, great questions. And there isn't a one-size-fits-all answer for this. And that's, I think, what we have wanted to share with people with putting together the HOPE initiative and framework is that whilst we are all experiencing difficulties, the way we respond is going to look different. And so what they're going to need is different. And it's okay if someone else needs something different to what you need. It's not all going to look the same. I think it's also really important here, Kevin, that we don't pathologize normal responses to this very abnormal event or set of events and circumstances. And obviously those people that do need more of a tailored clinical intervention, we obviously want to support them, but we equally want to help people who are just having difficulties, whether it's with sleep or they're feeling a little bit short-tempered or they're not feeling as productive as usual, but they can start to get some support for that. So one of the first things we would actually encourage people to do is start with the basics. In times of stress and uncertainty and challenging times, often the things we let go are the very things that can make the most powerful difference to our ability to keep going, move forward, and start to thrive, not just survive. And I'm talking about things like sleep and exercise and good nutrition and self-care, as I've already referred to, and having a look at just those simple changes that we can make a really profound difference. We've got a lot of resources on the HOPE that people might already like to start to have a look at. It's available in the public domain, and we'd love people just to start now and to make small changes that can have a massive ripple effect for them.
Absolutely. And so yeah, it's not about, when I say snap out of it, it's not about stop doing that. It's about being aware and reaching out and asking for some help. And that's really what I'm talking about in that situation. So yeah, so look at your exercise, look at your nutrition, look at, you know, your productivity, and start, so if you're feeling that things just aren't flowing for you, maybe it is time to sit down and have a chat with someone. You know, start with your mates.
Absolutely.
You know, boys and girls, and if you feel that you do need greater help than what they can do, don't be scared to reach out to people like Dr. Lily, please.
Absolutely.
So have you guys got any questions for Dr. Lily?
So is yours, just quickly, is yours only in person, or have you got an online program now that sort of people all over Southeast Queensland or the world could tap into?
One of the incredible things about this crisis has been how quickly there's been a pivot for us, Leanne, to be able to use telehealth and also to provide services online. So we are actually able to provide every possible combination of service delivery and tailor it depending upon the individual circumstances.
Okay, champion.
What's been particularly incredible is that we've been able to reach people who have real obstacles to their access to services, particularly if they live in regional and remote areas. So we've been able to provide telehealth support in ways that we've not ever been able to do that before. And that's actually been, if appropriate and applicable, been able to be covered through Medicare for them. We've equally got clients that are actually overseas that are able to access our services and support. And some of these tools that we are now making available are available to download if you go to our Facebook page or our website. So they can actually start working on them independently. And it might not even be just for them. It might be for someone they know who could benefit from those tools and resources. So if you're not a vulnerable or at-risk individual, you might like to come in for face-to-face, because that's very different and perhaps important for some people, particularly if they're struggling with engagement and they're feeling isolated and lonely. And they might be feeling like that even if they've got lots of people around them. And then equally for those that are able to access telehealth with technology, or they've got a private safe space to work on whatever it is they need to work on, then telehealth might be an option for them. I think what's most important is that it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's about tailoring it to the unique person, family, business that's needing some support and some survival skills.
Fantastic. Sorry?
No, all good.
Good. So thanks for that, and that's really good. So Lily Place, the website's www.lilyplace.com.au?
Correct, and we're on Facebook as well, and that's probably the best place to start to access some of these HOPE tools and resources. We're getting them up there and people can jump on there and have a look, and it can take them to other articles. We've put short mindfulness scripts on there that people can use and listen to. So it gives them a bit of a taste and a flavour and somewhere to go, perhaps to direct someone else if they notice that they're having difficulties, because that's sometimes the hardest thing. Once you've got that conversation going, then you might be feeling a little bit at a loss of where could I suggest they go, what could they start with, and that might just be a fairly sort of less intimidating way to start to open up these conversations about such important things.
I was about to say, and that can be like a stressful and anxious conversation to have with someone as it is. So, being able to direct someone to a Facebook, nice and soft and easy, and saying, hey, look, here's some tools. I found these useful, whatever is appropriate for you in your situation.
Yeah.
Peter, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it. We'll chat more about Brisbane Small Business afterwards. But thanks. We've got to bring Carly on because Carly's from Mama's Got Skills. So thanks, Peter.
Thank you. Take care. Stay healthy.
Bye.
Thank you.
That was really quick. Sorry, we're normally
With Carly
pretty rushed today. We are pretty rushed today. Now, Carly, how are you going?
I'm good. Hello. Thanks for having me.
Hey, our pleasure. Absolutely. Now, you're our social enterprise of the week.
Oh, how exciting.
So, Leanne, you need to do an introduction and stuff.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I handed you the notes. All right. Hello. So, hi, Carly. So, social enterprise of the week, Mama's Got Skills. Now, you're going to correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw Carly pitch last year, Impact Boom at the Trifford, and Mama's Got Skills is all about connecting mums after they've had a baby in order to build social connection, prevent postnatal depression, and she does that through craft and art. Now, tell me, how did I go?
That was pretty amazing. Like,
Okay.
I'm really impressed that you remember a year ago.
Yeah, everything's a blur before that. Or since that.
It actually works really well with what Dr. Lily was saying. So good segue. So basically that's what I do. it's more for people, mothers that have had babies or having babies, and they might not quite identify with having a mental health issue, but they might be finding it hard, and they wouldn't necessarily reach out to a psychologist or help because they're in denial, or they don't know, or they think that they just have to keep going because that's what life is, right? So by providing these workshops, it's a safe meetup space where we're making something so that we're not focusing on the baby and therefore reinforcing all the things we may or may not be doing right or wrong, or milestones, etc. And so the social issue here is trying to better support women in that postnatal space. And I do work at the Mater Hospital doing workshops with mothers who are on bed rest waiting to have babies as well. So we're perinatal, but it's kind of like giving a space to communicate without feeling like it's a therapy session. And therefore, if big things do come out, being able to direct to services that can help in that way. So yeah, that's pretty good, pretty good nutshell there, Leanne.
That's perfect. That's kind of similar to Nathan and the Junior Chamber of Commerce. They give people alcohol to like confuse them so they don't realise they're networking at the same time.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Go on, and switch.
Absolutely. So basically, through connecting over craft, and so you started. I've heard rumours that you started this online and worked out that online was just didn't work very well.
Yes, I was always in person, and then through COVID we went online. Mixed. It's been mixed. I was quite an earlier adopter of it. Like I was like, right, this is happening. We need to pivot. We need to go online straight away. And that worked in my favor because people were like, yes, I need to sign up to everything because what if everything shuts down, you know? So you get that start off wave where people are like, yes, let's do this. And I was able to sell packs, you know, as craft at home packs, kids packs, like that kind of stuff, right? And then what happened was everybody else got on board, right? So like every artist, you know, and I've never called myself an artist, I'm a connector of people and we just happen to make things. But if you are then in a market with all these artists who have their at-home packs, what are you going to do? You know, and so even though I've had successful groups online and I'm still doing a 9-week course and I've got my mother's group, so there's about 8 of us that come together each week and make something, it's not the same feel. And I definitely, I feel like I'm not serving the purpose that I started out to achieve, which was basically to connect humans physically, right?
Well, craft is very tactile, right? It's very much touchy-feely, and it's very much, you know, and visual through a screen is nowhere near the same as live. So if you are doing painting and stuff, like, sure, you can all stand there and look at each other's stuff and go, oh yeah, that's cool, and it's not the same as being in the room and doing it, and you know.
Right. And it's that thing like, yes, we come together online and we have a chat beforehand, like, how's your week been? What's been going on? Blah, blah, blah. But you're hesitant, right? Because you're not in a room. You can't, if you're sharing something, you're sharing with everyone. People can't unmute their mic fast enough to react in that empathetic human way, you know? And so then it's just me silently like talking to myself while they watch the craft. And it's like, yes, it served its purpose at a time when it needed to, but would I stay online? Probably not. Like,
look, that sounds like our Mother's Day family call where nobody really knew what to say, but we won't talk about that and the challenges there. We needed a group activity. We just need to play trivia or something while we were doing it. Would have been far better. So, so how do people find out more about what you're doing?
So I have a website, so mamagotskills.com, and basically there's a sign-up process. But I think, interestingly, from the social enterprise sector, the program I was in last year, which was us startups, social enterprises speaking to a live audience, this year I've been mentoring some of the new social enterprises coming through. They have to do it online. Like, that's a whole other sphere. Like, how do we where we are working with tangible human issues. So yeah, it's that was a bit of a tangent, but it's also really relevant to what I'm doing right now. Is kind of like a lot of social enterprises who haven't even started are starting in an environment where they have to go online.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's really hard, but also interesting to watch their journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, fantastic.
So-
So with the training, the other social enterprises, what's that about?
Yeah, so Elevate Plus, which is Impact Boom, if you want to know more about social enterprise, there's a podcast, and you might already know Tom. Basically, it's a collaboration with Brisbane City Council. So there's, I think, 15 social enterprises have come together this year, and like a third of the way through the program, they have to go online. So they were meeting physically each week, connecting, and now it's been weekly. And so they've got actually, this is relevant, they're doing their pitches in a month, and it will be a big online event. So I don't know if we can put a link to that Elevate showcase, or I can put a link if you want to know more about how social enterprise has gone online or pivoted. It would be
awesome.
And it's on the 14th of July.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
14th of July.
We'll grab that link, but we'll have to type it in later because Facebook's being really fussy and not letting us post links into our commentary here. And if I start upsetting Facebook, they get grumpy with me and they kick me right off the whole broadcast. And I don't want to do that. That happened a few weeks ago, and everybody else survived. I just had a moment of panic. So which is all great. So Mama's Got Skills. .com.au.
No S though. Mama Got Skills. So I mean, it'll just change.
Singular individuals. Perfect. mamagotskills.com.au. And fantastic. We will post that in a little bit later on to make sure that we'll do it organically to make sure that it gets everywhere that it should be. Thanks very much for joining us today, Carly.
And thanks for having me.
Bye.
See you.
Awesome. So guys, hey, that was a pretty rapid show.
That was great. Two amazing people doing very cool stuff. And you notice, like, the heart of all of it comes back to connection. I mean, it's why you're doing your competition. It's why Nathan does chocolate and gin, and we do cooking courses, and we do empathy courses, and we do podcasts and all that. So it's to create connection, because that's things that people are desperate for at the moment.
100%.
I know some people who are desperate for gin, but we'll talk about that with Nathan. So where do we go to sign on to do the shared gin experience? Get into the spirit.
Yeah, so
the junior chamber.
So show your spirit. That's the one. So feel free to jump over to the BJCC website. So nice and simple, bjcc.com.au, and then you'll easily find it through Facebook, Instagram. We've got it all up there as well. So heaps of details. You'll find the links super easily. There's 2 packs you can buy and consume along at home. There's a classic gin and tonic pack, and then there's one that's got a few cocktails into it. And then for those that are feeling like ISO life has got to them a little bit more, they can buy a VIP ticket and actually come along in real life, in person, and enjoy the event as well. So, but there's only a very small number of tickets for that. So
I was going to say there'd be 20 to start with, and they're probably 3/4 gone already. I'd say there's probably only about 3.5 of those left.
Exactly right. So don't miss out on them.
So with Brisbane Small Business, we are going to start doing Cook and Chat Network with Mel from Vanilla Zulu. Our first one is going to be on the 1st of July. More information will come out on that early next week. So it will be a lunchtime cook and chat. So you'll learn to cook, and it doesn't matter whether you're a meat lover or a vegan, that both are going to be catered for, and we'll keep everybody socially separated appropriately. So we've obviously only got limited tickets for that. So that'll be really exciting as well. And of course, the Brisbane Small Business, congratulations for surviving. I had a really cool saying about it, but it's just gone out of my head right now. So we won't worry about that. But you deserve a break.
Yeah.
So join up. Doesn't cost you anything, just your email address to absolutely join up. Be part of the gang. Thanks all for coming along. Any last words?
No. So Brisbane small business, buy yourself something nice.
What was that?
Buy yourself something nice.
And if you are a member of the directory when we do the draw, and if you're the winner, you'll actually get $2,000 worth of services to fix up your business too, which is pretty exciting.
And just reminding everybody that it is random. So when I win, it was all random. It was all above board, and I'll enjoy my spa day a lot.
Absolutely. And we almost lost Nathan there, but you've come back just to say goodbye.
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. I didn't know I disappeared.
You did. You turned into a swirl in the middle. You know what we didn't have today?
Oh,
We haven't had a dad joke from Nathan, and I just have to say the show was the poorer for it.
well, I do have one at the ready, and I was about to deliver, and then the conversation just sort of went away from me, so I didn't get to deliver it. But you can hear it if you would like it.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. So World Gin Day tomorrow. So that means let the fun be gin.
Okay. So it's also Men's Health Week next week. So all come along next week looking way healthier and ready to then get into our gin straight after the show. So thanks very much, everybody.
Next week. All good.
Excellent. So thanks, guys. Thanks for joining in, and we will catch everyone next week.